Bonjour, everyone. Welcome to the player ratings after Newcastle getting knocked out of the FA Cup in extra time at the Emirates. 2-0 Arsenal. Martin Dúbravka. We'll start with, obviously, Newcastle's number one. That's the jersey called. Always took that for now. Dúbravka back after injury, back in goal of the day, and he was brilliant, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, solid. Just as good as you can expect. Like, haven't been let down by a goalkeeper really in fucking ages, whether it's Dúbravka, whether it's Darlow. They always pull up the stops. Yeah, no qualms about it. A clean sheet after 90 minutes. Few good saves. Not what we could have done about the other goals. Commanding, came out and put a few good punches out in that. Yeah, no complaints. Good performances, as much as you can expect.
Solid. Made the big saves, the big moments. Couldn't do that about the goals. Yeah. Really unreal. I think it's, do you want me to rate him? Or you rate him? Or who's going to rate him? Anyone rate him?
Does anyone want to rate him?
Comments in, rate him. I'll rate him. I'll go 8 for Dúbravka.
Yeah,
very good, very nice.
Pretty good.
Start with Krafth, because you like to stick up for him sometimes, and a lot of people give him a stick.
Yes. This information is correct. I don't know.
Poor first half, better second half.
Yeah.
He was getting forward a lot more than got pulled off.
He was just starting to get into the game, wasn't he?
Yedlin was quiet when he came on.
Yeah, I thought Yedlin done all right. Like getting forward anyway, but like you say, like just before Krafth came off, he was starting to get forward a bit more. He was starting to get into the game more. In all honesty, I probably cannot really give anyone a good rating for the first half. Newcastle or Arsenal included, they were both fucking wank.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty tough game, to be fair. Like, he was getting done quite a lot in that, like in the first half, particularly because Ciaran Tierney on that right side would be my man of the match. I thought he was absolutely outstanding today. So yeah, Krafth was getting bummed a little bit on that side. But
Bumsies.
In the second half, he did start to get into it a little bit more, but overall, like it wasn't either a here nor there performance. So you can have a 4.
4.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit generous now, to be fair. Like, but before we do that, I'll just correct that.
We're just going to move on to Isaac Hayden now. He was a centre-back today in that back five, and he was probably the best one of the lot for me. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
up there for contender for man of the match, especially in a sense of a bad first half for everyone else. Hayden was rock solid, getting in the way of everything. Lacazette managed to pitch him to the header at the end there where Smith Rowe got on the end of it, but all game, Hayden, no matter where you play him, centre mid, centre back, solid as a rock. Unbelievable, reliable, brilliant. One that Arsenal probably look at now and think we'll let him get away. Like,
yeah, definitely.
We signed him from Arsenal for about 700 grand quite a few years ago now.
Hayden, that much was it?
Pennies. Hayden quality. I give him a solid. 8. Isaac Hayden.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like, he is always reliable. Like, wherever we put him, like, you don't want to see him lined up as a centre back, do you? Like, when the
especially when Sean's there.
Like, when the lineup first came out, and I thought Hayden was alongside, we thought it was going to be like a 4-4-2 when the lineup was first announced, with Hayden in the middle with Sean, which is okay because Sean by himself, like, he gets lost a little bit. He needs like that solid player beside him. When I found out it was a 5 at the back with Hayden at the back, I didn't want to say that at all. But like, wherever he plays, he never lets you down. Like I say, when the lineup comes out and you see him at centre back, you don't want to see that, but you always leave the game content with him. You think you've put in a fucking solid shift. Like, he's, like I say, reliable wherever you put him. Don't know how the injury was at the end when that second goal went in. Lacazette, after the header fell onto his ankle, looked like he was hobbling around a bit. So hopefully that's not a long-term effect. But yeah, good performance. Happy with him.
Yeah, 100%.
And Jamaal Lascelles, Jesus, only played 45 minutes after feeling, it's meant to be the effect of COVID. He was feeling a bit fatigued in that game, which you can fucking tell.
Yeah, the effects
Jesus.
The effects of being a very average footballer, Jamaal Lascelles. Taken off at half-time, that's what Brucey said in the press conference after the game. Due to long-term effects of COVID, we know he's been suffering with that. Obviously, wish him the best while recovering from that. They judged him fit enough to start the game. Didn't really look up to it. Captain the day, but in a while now for Newcastle, he hasn't looked good enough for me. Like Lascelles, I mean, you look at how well Ciaran Clark comes into the team, takes his chance. Shaw's growing week by week. You can put a centre mid in Isaac Hayden at centre back and does a better job than your captain, who's meant to be a centre back. You know,
Fernandez is always solid when he comes in. Like, if it wasn't for leadership skills, we've been saying this for a long, long time. If it wasn't for that armband,
see that there?
That's what's keeping him in the starting 11.
COVID jab.
He needs more fucking.
That's what he
needs more of a fucking jab than the fucking captain's armband. I tell you that. He just hasn't really been great for ages, and now he's just come back into it and that. But like he shouldn't have started. That's my issue. Like. I know we've been trying to rotate. It's the cup. You often
near that centre back on the bench, though, was he then?
Yeah, we're often rotating the cup. We've got another Premier League game on Tuesday, so like I understand that we need to rotate, but we didn't even have Fernandez and Shaw in the squad, like not even on the bench. So I think putting Jamaal Lascelles in the starting lineup when he hasn't played in months, really. How long has he been out? It's been a long, long time.
It feels like a long time.
So for him to come back in. Expect them to play 90 minutes without another centre back on the bench. What the fuck was Brucey thinking? I honestly don't understand. Like we know that we could have had 9 subs today, but we only had 7. Did Bruce not get the fucking memo? He could have had a couple extras. Like
we said, a couple of youngins, Francelet at centre back.
I say like no Shaw, no Fernandez, not even a Francelet. Like that was a fucking stupid decision from Bruce to start Lascelles, not be prepared. What we did is put. Ritchie came on and slid Dummett into centre back. Well, that's not good enough, man. Like we need more options than that. Like I say, we're 2 subs short today.
Yeah.
What the fuck was the crack? So, yeah, sorry Lascelles, but he did look slow. He did look fatigued. Like maybe that's not really his fault, but yeah, he's only got to get 45 minutes performance. Got to have a 2.
Yeah. And Ciaran Clark's going to have to be judged on 120 minutes of a performance,
not just 90.
And again, I don't think Bruce should have played him for any longer than 90. He looked tired from about 80 minutes. He shouldn't have played the extra time. We should have maybe changed it up. I know we haven't got any centre backs on there. It's hard what you can do, but got the captain's armband once Lascelles went off, and I think he struggled massively in extra time to keep up with the fresh legs of Saka and Lacazette and these lot. And obviously, he gave away the goal there where it's a really, really poor, lazy, sloppy touch that leads on to Arsenal opening the scoring of the night and ultimately knocking Newcastle out of the cup. So in extra time, really, really poor. But in the 90 minutes, good. Not as great as he has been in recent weeks, I think, but still very, very good.
Yeah, I thought he had a good game for the 90 minutes.
Some good clearances. Led the line well. Obviously, Newcastle had about a bank of 7 for the most part of the game, and about 78 black and white shirts commanding the box. Ciaran Clark prominent in that, but overall I'll give him a 6. But in the end, his poor touch and tired legs cost us.
Yeah, it did, unfortunately. We'll get on to Paul Dummett, and I don't really know what Paul Dummett offers to the team. I never really have. I think, especially at the start of last season and the end of the season before, when Rafa kind of introduced him into like a centre back role. I like him as a centre back in a back 5, but any other position I don't think suits him. I don't think he's a strong enough centre back to be in a back 4, just having one partner. He looks better with more people around him, with like a wing back and a couple of other centre backs. I think they cover for him a lot. But as a left back or a left wing back, as he was the day, he's not good enough. He's not a good enough defender. He's not good enough getting forward. His crosses, they've never been good. Like when he first came into the team, he was a left back, and people still defend him. People say like, "Oh, we don't need to sign another left back because we've got Paul Dummett."
Could have a centre back as well. Chuck him in, versatile. Geordie.
It's been fucking Mike Ashley been in your emails, is he? Stick up from him. We didn't need to sign anyone. We've got Dummett, man. We've got Dummett and Ritchie. I'm not fucking signing anyone. Are you mad? Nah, it's not good enough. I don't even think Paul Dummett's Premier League quality. He's a good option to have as a centre back. He can be a left back if we're really, really struggling, but simply not good enough and didn't make a good enough contribution today. I thought he was okay in the second half. Like I say, when he moved into that centre back role, there was a bit of an improvement, but still not a lot. 3.
I think he's just past it now. I think one injury's too many.
Well, that's the thing. When you do become too injury prone, you do like lose half a yard, but did he really have that in the first place? You know what I mean? I don't want to be too critical on him, but I don't really think he's fucking making any difference, really.
Yeah, bring back Jack, bro.
No, 100%. And your favourite guy?
Every week. I'm even yakking, see him doing the buttons this week, and it's still Sean Longstaff. Oh, it's meant to be fucking fit.
Ian Sean Longstaff.
I'm telling you, Elliot Anderson has to start on Tuesday night. He has to. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Well, Matty wasn't a new sub today.
To be fair, Matty may be fit enough now for Tuesday, but I've seen more of Anderson comfort on the ball, head up, creating things more than Sean Longstaff does. Actually, Sean had one good pass today where he fed in Jacob Murphy. And then I think it was where Carroll should have won at the end. Carroll should have won at the end. So he did well there. But throughout the game, jogging around, passenger, every game, passenger, getting paid to be a passenger in the middle of the park, paying for his bus ticket, sitting on the bus all week doing fuck all. Absolute waste of fucking space.
Who's driving the bus?
It's crashed.
I don't even know who the fucking driver is.
Charlie and it crashed.
The wheels are off. It's on the A1.
Yeah, the wheels are off. Ollie at the wheel. Not anymore. Yeah, fucked. So Sean for me, not good enough. Weeks and weeks and matches and
time again,
end on end. I just don't want to see him in the team. Doesn't offer enough. 3.
Yep, 100%. Can't say any more than that. Like Ollie at the wheel. Imagine fucking Ollie, Sean Longstaff under Ollie.
It should have been.
We should have sold him when we got the opportunity. But Jesus Christ, can you imagine the wheels on that bus? Fucking well off. He was saying like the options we've got in centre mid instead of Sean Longstaff. Honestly, like every time Jeff Hendrickson starting lineup, he's automatically a scapegoat. People are complaining.
Twitter mad.
Yeah, it's the same with Krafth. It's the same with Joelinton. They're probably the 3 main people when the starting lineup's put out. You think, oh, for fuck's sake. But honestly, Hendrick shows me more than Sean Longstaff. I'd rather have a partnership with Hendrick and Matty than Sean anywhere near the starting lineup.
Honestly would.
Like, I thought he had a pretty good game today. Like, say he's a scapegoat. No one wants to see him in the starting lineup. I think when we first signed him, that was his role. He's there for rotation, which it was today. That's fine. I don't mind seeing him in rotation. The frustrating thing was at the start of the season when he played the first fucking 7 games or something, starting week in, week out. So it's like, whoa, Brucey, this isn't why we're signing Jeff Hendrick. He's there for rotation. He's there for when everyone else is fucked, which today it pretty much was. And I thought he was all right. He spins around a lot. Proper Booker T settings, isn't it?
Spinneroonie.
Spinneroonie. But he goes forward, and that's where he's one up on Sean Longstaff. He tries to go forward. He picks the ball up. He does a 360, and then he looks forward. Like that's where he's one up on Sean Longstaff. He tries to go forward. He's not side to side. He's not going back. Like that's where I'd much rather see Jeff Hendrick. He tries to show a bit of skill today. Didn't twice. Neither one came off.
He loved the back heel today.
Neither one of them came off. But
he loved the Nicholas and a back heel today.
Didn't come off. But at least he's trying to go forward, and that's where I'd rather see him. I thought he looked all right on the ball, getting forward. So you can have about a 5. Like, it wasn't great, but
at least he doesn't lose it as much as Sean.
Yeah.
Sean just gets stuck in the mud and loses it, or just jogs around. Like, Hendrick still hasn't got much pace, but like you see, he's a bit more composed on the ball. He'll win a free kick, or he will look forward.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent performance. I'll give it a 5. I'll not suck him off too much, but 5 will do. Miggy.
Wow, Almirón looked like he was getting the stick that was deserved of recent weeks of the headless chicken that's been branded about. We've seen it a couple of times where we just want him to get his head up in the first half, especially on the left-hand side when he played it in. But second half, he was really good, especially second half until about the 70th, 80th minute where he might have came off, actually, I can't remember. But the first 20 minutes or so, the second half, he was our outlet. He was our bright spot. He was getting the ball. He was making things happen. He was taking players on. He gets snapped every time he gets the ball, but he gets back up. He was showing pace. He was pressing, so he was winning possession as well. He was decent. He was decent second half. Overall, I give him a 6.
Yeah, it's a very different halves. Poor first, decent seconds, but I think he did look a bit knackered and out towards the end where he came off, but that's right. And on the other side, Joelinton, he again didn't really cover himself in much graces. Like I say, he's not a scapegoat between him, Hendrick and Krafth. They're usually the ones that take up the massive stick on Twitter when a starting lineup's announced. But like, I understand why Joelinton does play, because we say like Almirón's been poor lately. We haven't got Fraser, we haven't got Sir Maximin. I'd rather see him on the outside than as a striker. which when we've seen the starting lineup, we thought he was playing up top with Andy Carroll, which didn't really make much sense. Two tall, physical players, strikers, he's not a striker. But yeah, like he gets himself about, he is strong, he tries to win the ball, he tries to do the right thing, but just the simple quality is just not there again. Like we've seen it a little bit too much lately. Like I always try and defend Joelinton. I really, really want him to come well. I see the quality that I know that he has got, but he's just not getting it under Steve Bruce. I don't know if you can blame Steve Bruce too much, because when he is having the opportunities, like playing out wide where he should be, again, like for about the third game in a row, he's had an opportunity in a more preferred position and hasn't really stood out, hasn't really done the job that will require of him. So he can have about the 4 at best.
Because his first touch tonight was really poor. I just didn't understand why we didn't go 4-4-2. Carroll and Gayle tonight was the way forward.
Gayle came on as a half-time, extra time substitute. Like that was way too fucking late, man. Like the game changed then and now. Like the game was dry at that point.
Dry as fuck.
Arsenal had all the possession in that final 15 minutes. It was fucking shit.
Better not start on Tuesday, Jury. Like seriously, man.
Well, it is a big fatigue issue now, isn't it? Like we're still kind of at the end of the festive period, isn't it? Yeah. Like I think that's why he was trying to do it today, but didn't get it quite right.
We'll really need obviously Wilson should be back. Hopefully Fraser and that will be back now for Tuesday.
I hope so.
These players have played like an hour and a half, 2 hours a night. A lot of them.
I expected to maybe see Fraser on the bench at least tonight, because Brucey was kind of teasing that for the last couple of weeks, really saying, he's back in training.
Last 2 games there.
So hopefully Fraser's fit for Sheffield on Tuesday, at least from the bench.
Big game.
At least from the bench. Hopefully he can get a start and try and show Joelinton and Miguel Almirón how to go on. Andy Carroll up top. He's the big talking point today.
He is. He's huge because he's had 2 glorious chances and one of them has got to go in at least. Both of them have. You're 5, 6, 7 yards out, man. From that range, you've got to be hitting the target. You've got to be scoring. He puts the first one off target at the start of the second half. He puts the last one in the last minute of the game on target.
The keeper.
Leno makes the save. But you've got to score from there, man. He's fighting for a contract. He's got 6 months left. He's off the back of scoring a goal a few days ago. He's grafted his off us, and although I'm gutted he's missed those chances because I thought he was brilliant tonight.
Yeah, he was.
He was really, really good considering he hasn't played in months. He's had all these injury issues that we all know about with his career. He's played an hour and a half tonight, and he's been unreal. We've seen, especially first off, defensively, what he offered in our box, clear and everything, unbelievable from the back onwards. Second half, I think the instructions was to just stay forward a bit more. Yeah. He did that. He made a nuisance of himself. He was having a good battle with David Luiz. He got an early booting against Willock. He was doing everything we expect Andy Carroll to be, a nuisance, putting himself about. But when it forces you, when you're our sole lone striker, there's no Wilson tonight, Gale's on the bench, you're the one that everyone's eyes are on to score the match winner. And he had 2 of the best chances a striker could hope for.
That first one will keep me up the night.
I will.
I bet it'll keep him up and all. As a striker,
because we've seen him in the background when Bruce he was on the bench and he looked good. And he will be because he's the local lad. You want to score, you want to get his new contract. It'll keep us up now because that should have got us through to the next round of the cup.
Yeah, that's 1-0.
That's 1-0. Because no, even disregarding the first chance after the start of the second half, there's a minute left on the clock. We're approaching 89 minutes, and he's got a chance from 5 yards out.
Yeah, doesn't test the keeper enough. It's a good save in the end. I thought you hit it straight at the keeper. Like he kind of gets like a left hand on it, so it's a decent save, but it's a pretty standard save, really. And it really didn't test him enough. And it's kind of similar to when we got put out in the FA Cup in the quarterfinal last season against Man City when Dwight Gayle had that opportunity.
We got 2-0.
Yeah, that was about fucking 3 yards out, put it over the bar. Like that's the changing point. Like that goal goes in, we're back in the game. I think that was at 1-0, and now that game that we were on the upper hand at that point. That's 1-1. We're on the upper hand. We could go on and win that. Andy Carroll's here. It's 0-0. That could put us ahead, and that's a game changer. I think we were the better side as well at that particular moment in the game.
No, it is. It's the
game changer.
It's the curse of Newcastle because remember at half time when they were showing the 98 FA Cup final, 2-0 Arsenal, and it was 1-0 Arsenal. Dabby's ass hits the bar, Shearer hits the post.
Yeah.
And again, all these years later, we mentioned City last year. tonight against Arsenal, we don't take with chances. You can blame bad luck, but you can blame bad finishing as well.
Yeah,
we should have took with chances. We should have won tonight. Poor Arsenal side. Carroll should have scored. Newcastle should have got through to the next round.
That chance will be keeping every jolly up the night, Andy Carroll included. He'll be going over that moment in his head fucking time and time again until the early hours.
Aye, but in terms of effort and endeavour, I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, I'd like to see his heat map. I hope the club show his heat map today because he was fucking everywhere on the back line.
The entire Emirates.
Got to the changes there. Then in the first one, as we mentioned, was Matt Ritchie on at half-time for Jamaal Lascelles. Played at left wing back. Dummett took in into centre back. I think, did he give a free kick away in the first 20 seconds or something? Like typical Matt Ritchie, just fucking diving in. Really, like he's not. He hasn't really got the composure to be a defender. Really, not a solid one anyway. He's got the heart and the determination, but not the execution. Like he's too reckless at the back. I'm sure he picked up a yellow card as well. I
think Ritchie should have maybe started if you're going to go for the Carroll game
plan. I thought
he
would have, to be fair. Like that probably would have been my ideal lineup.
A couple of free kicks were in the first half where Sean Longstaff was on set pieces and it was poor deliveries. Where's Ritchie on that?
Yeah. He did put in a couple of good ones now. Like as soon as he came on the second half, we had quite a few good free kicks in good positions. A few decent balls, some not so good. His delivery was decent, defensively not great, but he had Pepe on his side. He had pretty much Pepe and Willian to deal with. Like they didn't really test him that much, to be fair. Did they? They were kind of shit of the day. Pretty average performance from Matt Ritchie for the second half and extra time. He can have a 5.
Yeah, I agree.
Jacob Murphy
again should have been brought on earlier, if not starting.
Yeah,
he's played a lot lately, but
I think that's the thing with them too, Matt Ritchie included. Like just rotation.
Too many games in quick succession.
Probably should have started.
Again, when Murphy first came on, they were pleased it was a bit of an attack substitution. Krafth came off, but we don't get the best out of Murphy when he's too right wing back there because he's not getting that ball. And we've seen, I think it was 2 brilliant crosses. One was obviously for the Carroll chance at the end when it first went Anderson's shot was blocked, fell into the path of Carroll, and then after that was a quick low whipped ball into Dwight Gayle when it was an appeal for a penalty over Cedric's foul or challenge, nothing given. Showed what Murphy can offer. He's proven a real spark in Newcastle's side in the final third. What we need really in recent games, recent weeks. So like I said, some good deliveries. Probably too little, too late. Didn't involve him in the game enough.
Yeah.
But what he did contribute, I give him a 6.
Yeah, I thought he had a pretty good game. I think it's been like the same for the last few weeks. When he comes on, he is a bit of a game changer because he has got that pace and he's got the energy. He tries to change the game. Like he can be a bit of a handful for the fullbacks, like especially with fresh legs. Like he's a brilliant sub to bring on, but I'd rather see it earlier. I'd rather see him start, but it could be a fatigue thing. You mentioned DeAndre Yedlin before. Didn't think he had a good game. I thought he was okay when he came on, to be fair. I think it was a bit of a difference in the sense that Murphy was allowed to go further forward, which is what we needed. I say, like, you don't see the best of Murphy. It was wing back. He's much better further forward. So that change allowed Murphy to get further forward, which I thought was a pretty good change. I think them two do work well together on the right side because they're both quite similar players in the sense of like that pace and their energy, their willingness to get forward, try and stick a cross in. So I thought he was it was a good sub. Like he didn't really stand out too much, but I think the connection with Murphy particularly, like if it was someone else on that left-hand side, like Joelinton, for example, it would have been fucking game over. It would have been the most pointless change in the history of ever. But yeah, I think them two do work well together. They're both quite similar. They can both stick a cross in. They're both quick. Can be a handful for the full-back. So yeah, decent change. I'd give them a 5.
Got caught out though for Tierney. Didn't need to assist Aubameyang for the killer goal.
He did, but Tierney was a handful for fucking everyone the night.
Tierney
was outstanding. Really good. I've been a fan of Tierney for a long time, and
someone Newcastle were linked with years ago, but the branded the same thing what we've mentioned in the other videos. SPL, there is diamonds in the dirt.
But I think changing formations being what's helped Arteta, because it's been pissing me off that Tierney's been playing like as a centre back, pretty much like the Paul Dummett role. He's basically been like as a centre back in a back 5 for the start of the season. Tierney's been suffering because he's been playing centre back.
Paul Tierney.
He's one of the fucking best left backs in the league.
He is like.
You see what happens when he plays at left back?
Yeah.
It's fucking dangerous. Or you're just playing him centre back. He wouldn't have been shit. Everyone's playing out of fucking position. You fucking divvy.
Probably what people would do with Almirón if he was playing for like a good side.
Probably, yeah.
Free roam.
Fucking Brucey all signed Tierney and playing fucking centre mid or something. Elliot Anderson debut for the 18-year-old. Well done, son.
Quality, great to see. 18 years old. Look at him at the end. He's buzzing, big smile on his face.
I know. We got beat 2-0.
Just to remind you, Elliot, we are out of the cup now.
We did lose to the Elliot.
He got a nice little bonus for that appearance. Nah, but whatever. He took his chance well. Like I'm saying, I'm pushing for him to. If Matty's back, then no, don't start him. But be involved on Tuesday. Make his Premier League debut. Yeah. Tonight was a cup. Make his Premier League debut on Tuesday. Give him a good run out as well. I'm not talking 5 minutes at the end. I'm talking 60 minutes or something. Yeah. Give him a good half an hour. Premier League against the worst team in the league statistically this season. Bottom of the table, Sheffield United.
2 points in January.
At least give him half an hour, at least. Because he'll do more, he'll show more, and he'll give more than what Hendrick and Sean and the rest of them will. In midfield, our midfield's shot of shit at the minute. Everyone's wank. Shelby didn't even play the night. Shelby's been shit for ages. Turns up with the odd pass out of the odd 90 minutes. We know how bad Sean Longstaff is. Hendrick's okay. Does he offer much? No. Elliot Anderson will give more. He was creative. He was very tidy on the ball. Yeah. Really comfortable on the ball. Got good dribbling skills. Picked his head up.
Confident enough to take that shot on for Carroll's second one now.
Aye, which you never know. Imagine if that had went in. Absolute back page dream sentence for him that would have been. Not meant to be, but hopefully another day. Very young, very raw. Keep him coming. Keep getting Mason under his belt because I think he can offer something special in the last stages of the season. Obviously, the second half of the season, and we're now in January. Maybe he can be a bit of a
new signing,
silver lining, like a new signing. Pause you. I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, it is good to see like the youngsters given a chance. Like Brucey hasn't really given many, but like we've spoke about the under 23s a lot lately. Like how much quality is there? Like what makes them stand out? Obviously, Elliot Anderson is the standout. He's been on the bench a few times this season, hasn't gotten off, been unbelievable in the under 23s. But that's why you give them these opportunities. Like Matty Longstaff was the guy last year. He got his debut, scored the winner against Man United. You know what I mean? Like that hungry. That's what's great about these youngsters. Like give them an opportunity. Like I say, at the end of the game, even though it's just been put out the FA Cup, lost 2-0, he's fucking smiling from year to year. Like they're just buzzing to be there. They're going to give that all. Like look at Arsenal with the likes of Joe Willock, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli. Loads of youngsters given a chance, and that's what's been another difference in Arteta. Not just changing the formation, but putting them in. Smith Rowe's been a game changer for them.
Smith Rowe's been a big game changer.
I think Saka's been good all season, but particularly now playing alongside them, Martinelli on the other side as well. They've looked so much better. So I give Elliot Anderson another chance. Starting him in the Premier League might be a bit of a big ask, but you know there's no perfect time than 2-point Sheffield United. So I see what happens, but I got a good future ahead of him. The last change was Dwight Gayle came on at half time in extra time, only 15 minutes, and game was gone from that moment on. I think we'd pretty much let Arsenal have it. That was the only time he was actually really involved was the potential penalty shout in the last minute, but we're 2-0 down at that point. It's too little too late.
Showed how important Carroll was, really, didn't it?
Yeah, as soon as Carroll went off, and I don't know if it correlates, but as soon as Carroll went off, the game was dead.
Yeah.
It really was. Like it's not Gale's fault. We're not saying that Gayle was worse than what Carroll was. It's just the initial impact. Like the game was gone from that point. Gayle should have been on earlier. Yeah, potentially started. Definitely
top Andy.
Yeah, definitely on within 90 minutes. But yeah, I'll not even give Gayle a rating because apart from being fouled in the box, like he didn't really touch the ball to be honest. So hopefully we can see him more in the coming weeks. Maybe they play him against Sheffield. Who knows? But Brucey
treated this game like a Premier League game too much. Joked about obviously thinking it was a good away point from home and then not realising that it was going to go extra time in pens. He should have played, just said it there, Gayle. I think if Gayle had just started for Joelinton and Hayden was in midfield instead, wouldn't have bothered. And in the end, do you know what it is? The tactics nearly worked tonight. Because if Carroll scores one of them chances and we win 1-0 and we're through at the next round, we're all sitting here saying job well done. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day now, we're 0 wins in 7. We haven't scored a goal in, 78 hours of football. and we're out of the FA Cup. We're out of the FA Cup at the end of the day now, and we're in a mid-table relegation battle again. So a little bit too negative for me, a little bit too pessimistic, because that Arsenal side the night was shit.
Yeah,
they were shit. They weren't up for it. They were tired. They'd made changes that didn't work. The players they brought in, like Willian, was so poor. Pepe, not good enough. The subs like Saka, he didn't even make as much of an impact as he did. Yeah, he expected to do. So we missed a big chance tonight. Brucey should have went for it more. Carroll should have scored on the other hand. Could have worked, didn't.
Yeah.
Why is Joelinton still playing? Why is Sean Longstaff still playing? At least he brought Anderson on. I give him a 4.
Yeah. It is disappointing. I think every time we'll come up against big teams, we'll always like shit ourselves, think, oh, we're going to get beat 6-7-0. But always like keep it like so close to the point where we're disappointed that we didn't actually win. Like that's the thing. Like we give up way too much. There was like a lot of fatigue. The starting lineup was questionable. But let's say like who's fit? Why did we only have 7 subs when we could have had 9? Where was Shaw? Where was Fernandez? Where was Shelby? Like where was Wilson? Like they all could have been on the bench. Like Francelet, Vilka, Flaherty. There's any number of them that could have gotten a chance just on the bench. Like you don't even need to play them. Like
imagine that though when you chuck on Yedlin, for example, right, who's probably going to leave the club in January. You bring Jacob Murphy on instead of where Yedlin goes, and then on the right hand side or wherever you bring on Vilka.
Yeah,
Vilka's like, I'll play at the Emirates tonight. 20 minutes to really show why this club's saying me. I'm ready to show the world's watching this FA Cup, most historic competition ever. I'm going to show what I'm made of, Put me name. Everyone will know who Rodrigo Vilca is if he goes on and scores a goal.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll fucking try his heart out, do you know what I mean?
Anderson could have been that guy tonight, had an opportunity to score the winner, but I don't know what the tactics were again, to be honest. It was just a bit of a backs-to-the-wall job from scratch, and it's disappointing that we didn't finish the game as 1-0 winners instead of having to go into extra time and getting beat 2-0. The fatigue set in massively towards the end, let's say. In 90 minutes, Ciaran Clark was probably one of our best players. In extra time, pretty much cost with both goals. So I don't know what the crack is. Hopefully we'll find out a little bit more on Tuesday. Hopefully there's more players fit, more available, and got the bench full. That'll be nice. We'll move on to Sheffield, back to the league now. Hopefully 3 points. Hopefully score our first goal in 8 hours of football.
Be nice.
Against
doing these watch-alongs for this long.
Against the team nearly in fucking mid-January, and Sheffield's only got 9 points.
You gotta think we've done these watch-alongs for 7-8 hours now. I've not seen it.
It's getting hard, man. It's getting real hard.
Getting real sticky. But we'll play the worst team in the league on Tuesday, so come on. Sheffield are favourites, though.
They are.
They actually
favourites
are.
at the bookies.
They actually are.
They've got 2 points.
Yeah.
Did they get put out the night? I think now they won 4-3 or 3-2 or something.
Scraped it with
against Bristol. Jesus.
So
they're favourites.
They're favourites on Tuesday night. We'll be here though. We'll be here on Tuesday night for a live watch along.
Cannot wait.
Tune in. We might see a goal for a change. Make sure you pop your player ratings in the comments below. Subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV. And enjoy yourself. There it is.